Let's get nuts. Let's get nuts. Let's get nuts.
Neon lights flash bright and glow. Cyber city skyline low. Lost in shadows where we roam. Here we rock in Squirrel Zone. Neon lights flash bright and glow. Cyber city skyline low. Lost in shadows where we roam. Here we rock in Squirrel Zone. Talking down eclipse and clicks. Now pause and cyber kicks. Rusted wires mesh and twist. Squirrel Zone won't beam as we rock out in Squirrel Night. See bright in blinding light. Future's here, technology tight. Rocking hard till morning light. Circuits zap the night alive. We survive the cyber hive. Outcast and electric vibe. In these streets we do or die. Digital heartbeats pounding hard. Skies filled with electric stars. We ride fast in glitching cars. Leave behind all city stars. Outlaws in this neon maze. Humming with electric haze. For the future here we blaze. Squirrel Zone in cyberspace. Technology tight, rocking hard till morning light. Circus at the night alive. We survive the cyber hive. Outcast in electric vibe. In these streets we do or die. Digital heartbeats pounding hard. Skies filled with electric stars. We ride fast in glitching cars. Leave behind all city scars. Outlaws in this neon maze. Humming with electric haze. For the future here we blaze. Squirrel Zone in cyberphase.
Let's get nuts.
Sarcasm self-test complete.
Oh good, that's back online.
And now I switch to our beautiful faces, but I need to make sure that the audio is okay. Mine is on. Hang on, I got to make sure that yours is on here. Where is it? There you are. Say something.
Oh, there's
There
a
you go.
delay.
Yeah, there's like
There's
it's about a 5-second delay, give or take. Let's see how well Body Double schoolwork if I get distracted by this stream. I mean, yes. So hi everybody. Welcome to Sunday. And as promised, I brought along our, I guess this way. I brought along our good friend Sheila. Dan, what's up? And Toads, I am so sorry. I noticed that you hit 60 today and I did not make the badge for it, so that's something I have to do right after the stream. I'm sorry, brother. Sorry late. Oh, shut up, Dan. We've gone through this. See and hear you both? You can hear us both just fine? Good. That is what I want. I want to make sure the music's not too loud, too. Because I only just set this this scene up like late last night. Is it Road Toad's birthday? Oh yeah, anniversary. I got it. Never mind. Hi Jen, how you doing? See, this is the part where normally I feel like I'm on that magic mirror show. I see Jen and I see Dan and I see Sheila and I see Road Toads and Jen is here. Excellent. Excellent, excellent. Well, I'm sure many of you do know Sheila. Because I've been following you from like the get-go. I think, if I'm not mistaken, you correct me here if I'm wrong, but I think I actually saw your first posted video. If I'm not mistaken, because
Wow.
I think I did. I'm
It
sure.
was like one that was like, I
I'm
was
sure.
like, other ADHD coaches do this, and
Right?
I don't, or whatever. And then everyone's like, ADHD coaches exist? Like, what?
Yeah.
Back in the day.
Because I remember that was my comment on there. No, I meant with it. I meant with his sub, Heather. But yeah, like I was sure that was the one that I saw because I was questioning you there. I'm like, ADHD coaches are a fucking thing, and you're like, yeah, they're a thing. I'm like, wow, and that blew my mind. And then all of a sudden, I keep seeing more and more of them. Well, not too many. I saw a couple of them that I have no love for still, but that's neither here nor there. I'm sure you don't know who I
Some
am.
are good and some are not. But yeah, there was only like 4 of us when I started, like, on the entirety of social media, and then now everybody and their mom is a fucking coach.
It seems like it. It really seems like it. It's
Yeah.
like that when I was calling out all the life coaches way back when it was safer to do so. Yeah, like everybody and their damn dog had life coach or something on there, right? Like my wife she wants to get certified and whatnot. But I think the problem is because it's not a regulated in any way, shape, or form, like in the States or up here in Canada. There's no regulation to it. You can just tack the word life coach on and congratulations, there you go. It's interesting. It's definitely interesting that way. But anyway, so yeah, Sheila, she's a seasoned pro. I'm still the rookie running around. I'm like we're like Batman and the squirrel she never asked for. Something to that degree. But I figured today we're gonna do some digging into like real coaching experiences. Nobody better that I can think of than the first ADHD coach that I ever came across. And she's probably going to tell you this stuff. Oh, teaching old dogs new tricks. Fuck you, Dan. Boondragon, holy shit! Hello, darling. How are you? Wow, we're bringing out all the woodwork. Me start putting together a life coach web page. I could see it, Jay. I could totally see it. But
No one will stop you.
Yeah, nobody can stop you. It's not regulated.
Yeah.
Would you like to tell everybody a bit about yourself? Because, I mean, I could just make shit up here for you, but that's... might go to your head.
I am a coach. What do I... condensing is the issue. I'm a coach. I've been a coach for, like, maybe 6 years, but, like, officially had my business for 5, almost exactly 5 years today, actually. Woohoo!
Wow.
Anyway, but I was coaching a little bit before that. I've also worked as a special education teacher. I worked in conflict resolution, mediation, crisis prevention, and then like in-home behavior stuff for people with disabilities. My specialty was always extreme behaviors, aggression, psychopathy, narcissism, all that fun stuff is my favorite. And then, but I also just work with mostly ADHDers with trauma is my main demographic.
Well, that covers a lot of people.
Yeah, I mean, when I was teaching, like, my classroom had like 15 different diagnoses in one classroom, so like I'm very, whenever someone comes to coach with me, it's like, I have ADHD, but I also have these 5 things. I'm like, yeah, I got you. Like, you know, because the comorbidities are very real. And I just help people like to not hate themselves mostly, and then everything else kind of falls into place once you stop hating yourself. But I give them strategies and tools and all that, but that stuff's easy. Like, the hard part is the shame.
Yeah,
feeling the shame.
100%. Well, and I mean, ADHD and autism, they're both like the, buy one get 9 free, essentially. Yeah. Question already coming in for you. What country is Sheila operating in? You can explain.
I operate in the United States, and I have clients on, I've had clients on every continent but Antarctica at this point.
Give it time.
Yeah, so I take notes from everywhere. Yeah, I'm waiting for those penguins. USA, that's it. I'm out. Yeah, I mean, somebody has to help us here. Come on.
Uh-huh.
I mean, the USA is a big place. The medical. I live in Portland, Oregon. I'm very lucky. We have free healthcare here. I have good doctors, but I have clients in like Middle America that are like, the closest psychiatrist is 1,800 miles away or something, and I'm like, oh, great, sorry.
Oh,
so
God.
you know, yeah, it's really tough.
But also, like I know that Sheila also works with a couple of others in your Meerkat squad. And where's Joris out of? France?
That's complicated. It depends on
yeah,
the day.
Right? Yeah.
Joris is from, I think, originally Guadeloupe in the Caribbean, but then he lives in London, but he was in France. I think his mom lives in France. So he speaks, and then he's in Brazil a lot. So, I think his main home base now is London, but he is in a different country every day, it seems. I don't know.
That cat
And
gets
right now he's in
around.
Ireland. Yeah. He's in Ireland right now speaking at an autism conference. So, frequent flyer.
That's fantastic.
For sure. Yeah.
Very much so.
I work all over.
Remember, I was saying there was somebody who was relatively close to you there, the bus system.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's one of them. I think we have a couple more in that area.
I was just there.
Were you?
This weekend. That's where I was, yeah.
I have not been. So what ended up pulling you into the ADHD coaching in the first place?
Well, I think I was born into it, actually, initially. I have a huge family that are all ADHD, autistic. We've got bipolar, some schizophrenia. Yeah. And I'm the oldest of like 16, 17 cousins that are all neurodivergent. And so I was like tutoring them and stuff like that, like from a very young age. And my parents are both ADHD. There was some coaching of them, throughout my life. So I think I was born into it, but it turned into a job. I just got a job at a high school working in home with disabled folks. It was like started with kids and then adults, whatever. I worked with everybody. That was just a job that was like, oh, this pays more than minimum wage and this would be fun. And then it was like, I got so into like helping these people that it became, how we are. Like, it just became an obsession. I had one girl that was diagnosed autistic, and her mom was like, I don't think she's autistic. And I was like, I don't think she's autistic either. And I was like 19 with a pink mohawk and going into UCLA, like, medical center with all my paperwork. Like, I would like to challenge the doctor's diagnoses. And we because they wouldn't give her this blood test. And anyway, she had Angelman syndrome. It wasn't autism, right? And so, like, I would just go deep dive down each thing, whatever I was doing. And so I just ended up with like way too much information, and then was taking classes and, studying psychology and all that. And then I ended up, after a million years, being a special education teacher. And then the pandemic hit. So I was a special education teacher at a nonprofit. That doesn't pay well, if you don't know. And so on the side, I was coaching, and I was coaching for everything. I was coaching ADHD. I was doing couples coaching. I was doing anti-racism coaching for white people, so they could like talk to somebody about it. I was doing parents whose kids were gay and they were like freaked out, and I would like talk to them, like, just uncomfortable. I was like, you want to have an uncomfortable conversation? Like, come talk to me.
Right.
And so I started doing that like on Fiverr, and then the ADHD coaching like really took off. And then when the pandemic hit, all my students were like in group homes. They had no support. And so I was teaching to nobody, because it was like teach online, but the kids weren't showing up. So I was teaching to nobody. So I just really started doing the coaching thing. And then I got on TikTok, which is just funny. Like, it was really something my students wanted me to do. And then I did it. And then it like within a few weeks, I had 30,000 followers. Mm-hmm. And then that took off. And so then my business just took off. And so then I had a full load of clients before I ever had a website. It was like weird. Like, I've been building my business retroactively, which I
Right.
don't recommend because my taxes were a mess. You know? But like, it was a very ADHD business start. You know, I was just like, oh, you can make an LLC in 15 minutes online. I did it. Now what? Anyway, so that's what happened basically.
Wow. Okay, a couple things. One, pink mohawk. I need to see these pictures. I fucking got to see that. Seeing you in a pink mohawk, I think it'd be amazing.
I'll send you some.
Just
Yeah,
amazing.
yeah, it was good times.
And sorry, Sume,
was a lot of work.
she's not a diagnostician. She does know her shit.
I can't.
She's not a diagnostician.
What I do, however, I do pre-diagnosis. So I will meet with somebody for like, it takes 2 hours. We go through the DSM and I ask you a bunch of questions and I basically build you a portfolio to bring into your doctor if you're afraid that you're not going to get diagnosed. And that's pretty fun.
Mm-hmm.
But I will not actually diagnose you.
Yeah, because she can't. So, but yeah,
I cannot legally.
Yeah, I'd need that. Yeah, there's. Look at this. We're gonna scoop you up more business here. I'm sure that breaks your little heart.
Perfect. Everyone. Yeah. I love the colored hair brigade is coming out. I miss doing it. I used to have my hair a different color and all my friends, I would dye their hair, but it is very messy and time consuming and expensive. And so now I don't do that anymore, but it was fun while it lasted.
I bet. I miss hair too. Yeah, I know, Jay. I know. You and me both, buddy. You and me both. That's why we grow it down here. I know. All right, let me see here. Because yeah, I like I said, I wrote up a couple of questions, but other than that, we're just gonna babble for the most part. Because I mean, shit, when we were on the phone when we were on the phone the other night, holy fuck,
Yeah.
like an hour-long conversation about nothing. It was great.
Yeah.
Okay, here's one. What is one of the most common struggles that you see in clients, and how do you end up helping them through it? Is it the shame part?
The shame is definitely like the overarching. I think it depends. One of the things that I do a lot of is working on communication. So like with especially like my autistic clients, and I do couples and like family coaching too. And so sometimes there'll be an autistic kid with an autistic parent or an autistic spouse with an ADHD spouse. That's really common. Then, so just learning, like teaching people about autistic communication and how it's different. And like, I think it's really fun to teach allistic people like myself. I'm not autistic. And so I like to teach allistic people to speak autistic. I have a class on my website if anyone's interested. But it's just like, because I think a lot of the shame and isolation that autistics feel is from like constant miscommunication and misunderstandings because of the way that autistics communicate. And so, and if you're ADHD, it can just be worse because not only are you speaking autistic language, but you're also like speaking it faster and blurting and being very ADHD about it. So so communication is just like one of my favorite things. And so helping to, like, I have clients that will just text me screenshots of conversations and be like, what is happening? Why is this not working?
I've done that.
I'm so confused. Are they are
I've
they
done
an idiot?
that,
Am
yeah.
I an idiot? What's going on? And I can just be like, okay, in a holistic world, this means this.
Real quick, what's your website?
Oh, SheilaHenson.com.
That's right.
I'll put it right there.
Yeah.
Easy peasy. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah,
thanks. I am great at self-promotion.
It's that one, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
That looks right. Yes. Henson
Okay,
like
Jay-
the Muppets.
That's right. Jay, Dan, can one of you guys pin that for me, please? Yeah,
Thanks,
because your link
Yeah.
wouldn't come through it. There you go. Thank you, Jay.
Oh,
Yeah. So if anybody is
Appreciate it.
interested, pinned up at the top of the chat there. That's Sheila's website. Rated self promotion sounds familiar. I know. I know. I suck at it. This is what I have a shoost for.
I'm really practicing, just being like, and I have a class for that because I really do have a class for everything. So I help people. Yeah, communication's like a big one, and then it depends because I have a few different like kind of niches that I end up with. So one is like angry teens, And so with angry teens, then one of the biggest issues is, aside from like the shame and stuff, is just like is social stuff, right? Like, how do I have friends? How do I not get bullied? Or how do I deal with getting bullied? And how do I get my homework done? And, you know,
Yeah.
and then like another one is creatives, like musicians, comedians, artists. I have a lot of that demographic in their like 30s and 40s. And so it's a lot of like, how do I communicate with people at work? How do I meet deadlines without burning myself out? Because it's either I don't sleep, don't eat, work on something, you know, like hyper focus on my creative vision, and then like the trash hasn't gone out, I haven't showered in days, like everything's a mess. Like, how do I find balance? And then like, how do I communicate with people at work? And then
I'm just sliding. I'm feeling attacked, so I'm just gonna go over here.
Yes, that might be your demographic.
Might be. A little directly directly assaulted there. Somebody new to call me out. Fantastic.
Yeah, I think those. Yeah, so that, you know, those are some of the like the main issues with like the sort of demographics that I tend to really work with me. But
Yeah.
I get all kinds of things, really. Yeah.
Yeah. That is. I'm sorry. I just have to get over that direct hit there. You hit with a crit, that
Yeah.
one. So,
Yeah.
okay, do you have one client breakthrough that really stuck with you over the years, or are there just so many?
Oh. Yeah. I mean, I have one client who said that she is it's funny, she's like, I want to write you a review, and she's just been working on it for 2 months. It's so autistic. She's like, no, I want it to be really good. I'm like, okay. So I'll, you know, you can read it if you want. But she said that basically she was depressed, and she's not depressed anymore. It just is, she's not. And I think a lot of it was, her depression was just a lack of self-acceptance and just constantly having expectations for herself that were unrealistic and she couldn't meet. And as soon as she was able to make that shift, she was like, oh my God, like, you know?
Yeah.
So that's like a big one. I have a teenage girl who was being bullied and had no friends, and now is doing very well socially. Has been going to her mom's, like texting me, she's going to a sleepover, she's playing soccer with other kids, she's, you know, things like that is like, that's like, my heart, you know?
Yeah.
Keep telling me about it. Yeah. And then some of them, it's like still struggling, but breakthroughs in certain areas. I mean, I had one client that got a divorce, and that was terrible. And it was such a breakthrough to be like, oh, I've been trying to mask and smash myself into a box to fit this person because I made this choice 20 years ago. Like, I
Right.
made a choice 20 years ago that's not been working for the last at least 10 years, maybe the whole 20.
Yeah.
And I'm, you know, and it was hard for me because I was working with them as a couple. But as we were working together as a couple, it was like, and then I was also working with him individually, and it was like, oh, I can't fix this, you know? And it's like, wait, that's good though. That's part of couples coaching sometimes, is them finally realizing like this isn't right. And since they just both seem so much happier, you know,
Yeah.
like, even though they're grieving and stuff, like, so sometimes breakthroughs look different, I guess. That's something. Yeah.
So we've got Jay waving the white flag already. Oh boy. And apparently Dan needs to go hide in a dark room. Sorry about that.
Sorry, y'all.
No, just a reminder. You motherfuckers all know what you signed up for. I'm just saying. Every one of you knows what you're walking in here for, so. PBD has a migraine. Oh, gotcha. Oh, there we go. What is your experience with / do you coach neurodivergents who also have other chronic illnesses where one influences the other?
Do I ever?
Uh-huh.
I also have. So I have a light version of the what do they call it? Like the terrible trio or whatever of EDS, POTS, and MCAS, which comes along with, it's in the genetic bundle with ADHD and autism, right? So if you have one of those things, you're more likely to have all the other ones. And I don't have it as bad as some people do, but I do. There have been years of my life where the 3 years in the pandemic, I ate a bad milkshake, and for 3 years couldn't go outside because my stomach hurt so bad because it was the MCAS, like, just took over, histamine, like, took over my body. So now I have to take, like, 6 antihistamines a day. So anyway, but yeah, so a lot of my clients have chronic illness. That's very common, especially in that print, like the Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, POTS, and mast cell activation syndrome. I just say POTS, post-osteoarthritis, you know, that one. So, where you get dysautonomia, we can say. But also lupus, Lyme's disease, also just very common. It seems like I haven't seen any, like, research on this, but it does seem to be a thing that people with ADHD and autism are more likely to get Lyme's disease. Does that sound right to people? Anyway.
I think I've read that.
Autoimmune diseases. Also with the ADHD and autism, PMDD and other, endometriosis, hormonal stuff, lipedema. I got that one. So fun. It's very painful. And then, so yeah, there's a lot of, I do deal with a lot of that. And so a lot of it with chronic illness, and neurodivergence in other ways, it's all the same thing, which is learning how to have flexible expectations, right? Because your capacity is going to change day by day. So what we work on is, like, being totally okay. So I have, like, a system, I call it, like, red light, yellow light, green light, but also more people like bee day, squirrel day, snail day, right? Or moment. I'm a bee right now, I'm a squirrel right now, I'm a snail right now. And so you have a plan for each. So for example, you're like, okay, I'm going to move my body every day. Cool. My B plan is that I'm going to run a mile. Or my B plan is that I do an hour of yoga. Or my B plan is that I go to the gym for it. Great. My squirrel plan, like the most days, is going to be like, I go to the gym for half an hour. Or I do yoga for half. And then I have a plan for my snail day. Might be I walk around the block. Or it might be like I do stretches in bed. Or it might be that I make a playlist for the gym tomorrow, right? Like, but having you engage with it a little bit every day to keep routines, to keep habits, to keep that, keep away from shame, you know? Like, oh, I engaged with movement today in some way, but you just adjust that to your fluctuating capacity. And we have that for food, we have that for movement, we have that for your sleep hygiene, we have that for socializing, we have that for each thing. So I just help my clients to be like, okay, we can make sure that you meet your goals, and some days you're going to be running towards your goals, and some days you're going to be like snail crawling towards your goals, but we're going to keep moving forward, basically.
Now, you just did a video a few days ago of the red, yellow, and green light, did you not? Because I'm pretty sure I stumbled across that.
Oh yeah, I did.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had. Yeah, my friend was like, she's a somatic practitioner, Taco Cat. Oh, Taco Cat Wellness. I spelled that wrong. You know what wellness is. Okay, so anyway, and she was like, she's like, one of my clients, I think could really be helped by this red light, yellow light, green light plan or whatever. Do you have a video about that? And I was like, I'll just make one. So yeah, I just made that.
Yeah. I love when people ask that. Do you have a video on this? You know what? I probably do, but it is so far back in the list that trying to find it for you would take me an hour, and it's just easier to make something new.
Exactly. Just make another one. It's easier to make another one.
Yeah. Yeah, I've had to do that every now and again. What do you think is a tool that you thought would be game-changing but turned out to be overrated?
Pomodoro. First thing that comes to my head. Yeah, I know other people love it. It does nothing for me.
It's the same thing with it's the same thing with body doubling. And every time I bring up body doubling, I have to bring up Jay in the chat, J13. A lot of people in the community, they are all about body doubling. We'll hang out in a voice chat together and just sit there, like some people silently, you know, like I'll get in there and do the dishes with a room full of people that are playing video games or something else, right? It does nothing for him. And he's always the one that I bring up as an example because it literally does nothing, right? He's like, I need more noise than this. I got to go do something, right? But Pomodoro, really? That's interesting.
Yeah. I don't want to do anything for only 20 minutes. Like I'm all or nothing. Like I don't. So you know.
English, my first language, truly. I went over Pomodoro last Wednesday, and there were some people in there that kind of bucked against it and said the same thing, that it would be the break, the interruption, right? They would rather just get in there, nose to the grindstone, do it all and get it done, as opposed to having breaks.
Yeah, instead of Pomodoro being helpful to me, like thinking about breaks in general, I don't need something that's like, okay, start going and then you get a break. I need to remember that breaks exist. So even better would be like set a timer for 3 hours and then be like, go pee now, you know, go water, food, like, you know, things like that for me personally. But I go into hyperfocus a lot easier than a lot of other people. So like it just depends on your type of ADHD, you know. Some people are a lot more hyperactive or distractible. I'm pretty, once you get me going, like I'm pretty good at continuing to go, especially if I have like an audiobook or something, like I can just get things done. But that's not everybody's situation, so I'm glad it exists. Yeah, for the body doubling, I see a lot of autistic, not ADHD, autistic people hate being perceived, and some ADHDers, but like, and so doing something like this where they're not being watched is a better body double than having a human. But then for ADHDers, having an actual person, like for me, doing the basic stuff, having something like this in the background or an audiobook is good. But if I really need to do something, I've been putting off taxes or like cleaning my room, those are my favorite things to do, then I clean my house, but my room is a whole other situation. But like, then I need an actual physical human talking to me about something interesting, or else it's
As I look around at my office, I don't know what you mean.
Yeah. So silence gives open space for the bad demons to start chirping. If you feel that way, I must recommend somatic therapy to you, or somatic experiencing, because it is the thing that has really helped me to be able to sit with myself. And I will give you 2 very amazing somatic practitioners. If someone wants to turn these into proper links, you can.
No, you know what I'm going to do?
That are my friends.
Here, I'm going to give you the ability to post links.
Oh, amazing. I don't know if I'll know how to do it, but great. So
Just anything.com, you'll be able to post.
Oh, okay, perfect, great.
Our Pomodoro
So,
is take a break between subject to homework, and typically a longer one, like an episode, till 42 minutes. There you go. If it works for you, run with it. 100%.
Yeah, that makes sense.
If I tried to take a break every 20 minutes, but the second or third time break came around, I'd probably get pissy about the break interrupting me. I mean,
I'm like, go away. I'm trying to work. But I think, I mean, it's a good strategy. Yeah, I think that's the main one that for me like really doesn't work. Otherwise, I feel like, I mean, planners are fucking stupid. But the planners are a piece of a solution. They are not a solution, right? You can have a plan. You need a plan for your planner. If you don't have a plan for your planner, then they're completely useless.
It's a tool like everything else.
But otherwise, I feel like it's a tool, and it's just to me, it's almost like part of a tool. It's like the head of a hammer, but not thick or whatever. Like it's just not even a complete tool if you're ADHD, because you have to remember that it exists. You have to have it near you at all times. You have to. It's a bunch of tasks, you know, like, to remember to write everything down. And so but otherwise, I think that every tool works for somebody. It's just, so that's like the fun thing about coaching is figuring out what things are going to work for what people, you know. You can absolutely burn that.
Yeah, Mithru, burn it. Yeah, Jay would like you to explain what somatic therapy is.
Yeah, so somatic is just like in the body. So it's basically, instead of talking therapy, this is why I think it's so important for ADHDers and autistics, because when we talk, we're not necessarily processing. Like, raise your hand if you can talk about your trauma like you're a stand-up comedian, but you don't actually feel any of it. So that's
one in
not
chat
therapy.
If you can do that.
Yeah. So if you like, if they're lavender scented and bejeweled, that does help temporarily.
It's a community joke we have. Yeah. My lavender scented crystal planner.
Yeah, that'll work for really well for 2 months tops.
Yeah.
So Oh, but so with somatic therapy, you're actually using your body to get to your emotions, which is actually really where like our emotions seem to be stored. And so it can look like a lot of different things, but it is a way of helping you regulate your nervous system, which helps with executive functioning. If you don't know about executive functioning, that's the stuff your frontal lobe does: planning, organizing, prioritizing, task initiation, working memory, emotional regulation, all that bullshit that we yeah.
Yep.
And so so we don't use our frontal, like we are designed, we are evolved, we are whatever, we exist for like a world that doesn't exist anymore, right? So the idea is like if you see a bear or you're about to go off a waterfall, what your brain does is turns off the front and you go into like the amygdala and the other parts of the brain, so you can go into fight or flight and like fight a bear or like climb yourself out, right? Which is awesome if you're dealing with a bear or a waterfall. But when like the bear is laundry and the water email, like you're so fucked because your brain, it turns off the part of your brain that you need. So to keep ourselves out of fight or flight, we can use somatic therapy, which will actually help us with our organization and productivity and all that shit. But like the somatic therapy, yeah, it's therapy that you do with your body. I guess that's the best I can do. But like, yeah, Rainer and Angela both have very like different strategies for it. You can see from like their websites and whatever, like different vibes. Rainer will like make you cry, like sob like you've never sobbed before, and like find those like pieces of your trauma that were hidden somewhere. And then like Angela is if you're just like, I don't even know that I have a body. So it's like, we can ease into that. Let's do some of this. Like, let's like, make a game out of it, you know, stuff like that. So both awesome though.
That's
yeah.
Cool. You don't want to fight the bear, Jay. You're better off with the other one. Those are finds a bear to fight. Yeah. There goes Jay dodging the responsibility part of it, and you know, ignoring and white flag and fuck it, I'm gonna go fight the bear. Yeah, that sounds like Jay. I'll fight both of them. Of course you will. Of course you will. So okay, so that Pomodoro is the one that you found overrated. What is one that you've seen consistently work for your neurodivergent clients?
I think body doubling is the most helpful for most people. It just depends on what kind of body doubling. And
right.
And then what I call spoonful of sugar, the technical term is combining a non-preferred activity with a preferred activity. But I call it spoonful of sugar because Mary Poppins is more fun, which is just adding something good to something that you hate. What's all this? If we take a break before class board.
Go ahead.
I'm getting back into headspace for class, but if we try to go... actually that you're frustrated. Yeah, so does everyone know what monotropism is? Do you talk about monotropism in here?
I don't think I have directly, or not addressed it directly.
Well, that is a rabbit hole for people to go down, but if you understand monotropism, it can help you a little bit understand like this break problem. And so it's like with okay, so there's like two things that I'm going off topic. What was the last question that you asked me? Was about things that work. Okay.
Yeah.
So if we're talking about things that work, let's just talk about like understanding your brain. So with ADHD, we need to use up, this is why spoonful of sugar works to some extent, and body doubling. It's not that we don't have enough attention, it's that we need to use all of our attention. So like the way that I see it is that side of us, that like if you're just doing something with your hands, it's like, hey, can we do something else? I'm bored. Let's go over here. Let's destroy something. Blah 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 blah. If you're just like listening to something, but you're not doing anything with your hands, it's still like bored. So you have to like babysit the toddler. So like if I was listening to this, I would be cleaning, I would be coloring, I would be weaving, right? If I'm doing something like cleaning, I'm going to use a podcast or an audiobook or something like this, right? So you're occupying all of your attention. You have to babysit the toddler. And so that's why like we add something. So it's like, oh, I need to make a phone call. I can take a walk while I make a phone call. So this one like full of sugar thing helps. Right. Or just like eating Altoids while I do boring shit is really helpful. So that's part of the ADHD brain. The autistic brain it tends to be very monotropic. ADHDers are more monotropic than general population, but not as monotropic as autistics. Monotropism, if you think about it as like a attention tunnel, and it can be painful to rip you out of that tunnel. So that's where like, if you have a more monotropic brain and you get into hyperfocus is a very monotropic state where you're just like in this one tunnel. And then like being ripped out of that can feel, for some people, like physically painful, or just like very irritating, very angering, right? So for ADHDers, we can have a little bit of that, but autism's like a whole nother situation. That's why transitions are so difficult. It also really explains, like, what's in your tunnel can really explain the spectrum a lot. Like if your tunnel is trains, and you know, I know that's like a stereotype, but I actually worked with a lot of people that are just really fucking into trains, and that's cool. And they'll know everything about trains, but trains don't connect to a lot of things. If you're so that person might really struggle with social things. That person might really struggle with hygiene. It's hard to connect that to trains. That was part of the thing I did with kids when I worked in their home, was try to connect their special interest to whatever needed to get done, right?
Yeah.
If your special interest is media, that's gonna be that you can connect to everything. You can watch a movie about somebody taking a shower. You're watching movies and playing video games with people talking and, you know, exploring social dynamics and things like that. So you might have a lot more social skills and all that stuff. So anyway, one of the things that works is adding something for the ADHD brain, but you have to be careful if you're also autistic, that you're not adding too much, because that can become overwhelming and overstimulating and really mess with your monotropic brain. So there's a figuring out that in the individual person, if you're ADHD, of how much of each that you need, is something that is really helpful once you get the hang of it, I guess.
You got confused by the pronunciation. I know what you
By
mean.
the what?
The
Monotropic?
Monotropic, yeah.
Oh. I always heard monotropism. Monotropic. Monotropic? I don't know.
Yeah.
I mostly read about it, so whatever.
Let's get nuts.
Tentacle like most trains that I had when I was a kid. So did I. My grandfather had a great one. Currently live near the train.
I was with my
plants.
I was with my autistic friend, and I was like, I don't know, I've just never really been into trains. And she was like, you just haven't met the right train.
There you go.
I thought that was really good.
See, my grandfather had a fantastic set in his workshop, and it was massive, right? I was so pissed off that I didn't get the whole thing when I was a kid, or when he gave it away. And then on the other side, my other grandfather, he actually worked for CN Rail. He was one of the logistics. I can't remember what it was, what his actual title was, but I swear this is where I got the autism from, was him, because he was so fucking methodical that if there was something written down on the sheet, it said, this car is here with this cargo. And if it was not physically out there in the yard, it was on the paper though. So it was there, according to him. And he would not buck on that, right? He was so completely methodical about his job. He ended up being like, you know, one of the all-stars in the company kind of thing. Yeah, he ended up working in trains. 2 of his sons ended up working for the same company. And then after he died, I ended up working in a rail yard driving trains. So it's like, trains are just the thing. I've never been on a train.
Yeah.
Passenger trains are fun. Trains are okay. They're mostly fucked up commute sometimes. You get on my nerves. Steam trains are the best. Yeah, there's no autism around here.
My grandfather was a flight engineer who collected rocks. So, and then my mom said when he got overwhelmed, he would hide it. So I'm pretty sure that he was autistic.
I'm untrainable. Wait, that's different. Yes, it is. Trains are fucking really already fucked equilibrium. I mean, fair enough.
Yeah.
With the monotropism there, that I'm constantly telling these guys to, like, if you have to do one boring task, add a better and a more enjoyable task, right? So if you're, the example I give them is if I'm not hanging out and body doubling and whatnot, if I have to like do the dishes or do a little cleaning here or there, I've always got music going, right? So I'm balancing it with something a little more enjoyable. I love movement, but I'm worried it'll put me to sleep. Oh, the train? Toggerella on Mount Washington is great.
You can get one with a bed. The last time I was on a train, I had a whole bed. It was pretty nice.
That'd be sweet. That'd be really sweet.
Yeah.
I remember going on a passenger train with my sister. We drove from here up to northern BC, and it was I think it was like a full 24-hour travel. Like my sister and I are probably like, I don't know, 7 and 9 or something. My mom took us on the train. It was interesting. It was really neat, but I mean, I don't remember it very well. But birds, fair enough. Fair enough. I see the bot is now bitching. Hey, it looks like it's almost that time, kids. Almost time for that self-care break. Yeah, time for that self-care break. So, for those of you that are brand new here, we're going to take a few minutes. We're going to grab some water or a snack or go to the bathroom or have a stretch or do whatever you need to do. That kind of thing. So we'll do that, and we'll be back in just a couple of moments. Ready?
After these messages, we'll be right back.
That's the one. Go grab yourself some water and stuff. We'll be back in a minute.
Air hockey spinning, the puck's got flair. Skee ball rolls down with electric flare. Space invaders dancing with a retro vibe. Flickering screens where the legends are.
the other Vancouver, right? Something.
There we go. No, I'm in central Alberta.
Oh, okay.
Got attacked by the dishwasher again? No, I didn't. Wife and child just got back from, they were at the beach. Not allowed to tell me anything. Yes, Moon, you're a big girl. What are you going on about? I don't know what you're going on about. You're cray.
About the bot. Yeah.
Oh, the bot. Being attacked by the bot. I'm sorry. Not sorry. Get over it. Beach, sand, sun, people. I know, right? That's why they went. It's like 20... I see 27 degrees, but it feels hotter in the house. And I'm sure it's actually hotter out there, but yeah, it's fucking hot enough that they can go enjoy it because, you know, it's going to turn me into a mess. That's not the part of this MS thing that I enjoy so much. I've never been very good with the heat, but now it's just like even worse. I hate it so much. I hope everybody managed to grab themselves a snack or some water or some of that stuff. Power to the mushroom people. What, those of us who are kept in the dark and fed shit? Is that what you mean? So, I heard a video that she was listening to on the break there, and I don't want to touch too much on it, but it is something that I do want to touch on because it's scary, and that's the whole how autistics are viewed down there. And do you have a lot of people that come to you with that fear, or do you find that is something that
Oh, every day.
Every day?
Every day. I have people, like, kids coming to me with SI over it. Because they're like, what's the point in living? I'm just going to get put into a concentration camp. And
yeah.
Yeah.
That's fucking disturbing. Like, beyond disturbing to me.
Yeah.
That this is the world that we live in, where misinformation and people that just don't believe in science, and we're back to the vaccines causing autism shit, and like, we were doing so good as a society, we were getting better, right? Well, how come there are so much more autistic people? Because we learned how to diagnose properly. It
also,
baffles
there
me.
aren't as many more it's not. I think people also think that there's so many more autistic people because they're outside now. They're not in institutions. They're not shoved. Like, there's more laws helping them get out of special education and be in regular rooms. They're being seen more. People have become less afraid of taking their autistic outside. They're like more empowered. I was taking, autistic kids to their church or temple or things like that, and the kids there would be like, why is she like that? And I would be like, oh, she's autistic, this is what she needs, this is why she does that. And they would go, okay, and then move on. But that just never happened before. And so it's just a lot more in the public eye.
Yeah, and now with better diagnostic information and whatnot, like, this is why we're at 1 in 34 or something, whatever it is now.
Yeah, and a bunch of diagnoses got combined into autism too. There's like a whole bunch of very easily explainable if you take the time to do the research, which I guess RFK doesn't want to do. I mean, of course they don't want to do that because fear tactics are going to make it easier to make fascism. So the more we're scared, the more
it's easier
we
to
can
control
believe
the
that there's
populace.
like some weird boogeyman. And autistics are just a pawn in this stupid game, and it's it's super gross and super disturbing and super terrifying. And it's I can't say like, no, you definitely won't end up in a concentration camp. Like, I can say it's probably not going to happen. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's also different. Is it a white kid who has parents with money? I'm sure your parents will be able to get you out of the country.
Yeah.
Is it a kid who's a person of color that doesn't have resources? Then I'm like, I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah.
Like, I don't let's talk about how to keep yourself safe. That's all we can do.
And Jay's got a point there too. More people are taking off the mask nowadays. I think ever since the pandemic, that's been a really, really big factor. Like people that have been back in 2020, people that are stranded in their house with nobody but themselves, listening to their minds and going, shit's not quite right up here. Having that realization and coming out on the other side going, oh, fuck, looks like I do have ADHD or autism or what have you.
Yeah. There was also a lot of
assholes
people
like
who were
me
diagnosed
included.
who yeah, and like, you know, not you look at this the trouble you're causing.
I know.
But like, you know, people that we did that have had autism diagnoses that like they weren't going to talk about it before. There's a bunch of famous people that have ADHD or autism diagnoses or diagnosed bipolar diagnoses that unless they got caught on TMZ, they weren't going to, you know, be talking about it. And now they're like you could go look at a list of all the fucking autistic athletes and actors and things like that. And so it looks like everybody, but they were autistic before. They just, you know, they're just admitting it now. Yeah.
And that's how it's been, you know, for decades and decades, like generations and generations, right? My grandfather, prime example, right? When I went up to my grandmother's for her 85th birthday, and this was what, two or three, maybe 3 or 4. It was just before I got my diagnosis, and I was, you know, doing the deep dive and whatnot, looking into it. So I spoke to her about it and talked about how like he was into like these hard routines and, you know, the way he spoke and his social cues and, you know, just all of the shit that he was missing. So I'm talking to her about it, and they said, I'm pretty sure he was autistic, and I'm pretty sure that's where I got it from. And I think 5 years before that, she would have fought me on it. But at that time, she's like, I think you're right. Because I just explained to her, like, every day he would have his paper, he would sit in his chair, he would watch the news at this time exactly. You know, all of these little things, the way he spoke, it was very to himself. He didn't really make eye contact with anybody, you know. So explaining that to her, yeah, I think she was a lot more accepting of the idea. But if it was, you know, 20 years before that, it was just he was a little quirky, right? And just kept to himself, and that's how they would have viewed it. They never would have taken the time to get him a diagnosis, because what's the point, you know? How dare? Hey, shoes.
And for a lot of people, that's still the case. There's still more autistic people that are not going for a diagnosis. A, because they're scared, and B, because it's like, oh yeah, that is my type of brain, but I already figured it out, so
yeah,
what do I need a diagnosis for? You know, there's plenty of people like that. I can see, like, I have some family members, like my aunt and uncle, I went and stayed with them, and they just have their very strict routines, and everything has a place, and they're just kind of dorky, you know, and like, and I love them, and I had a blast, but I left there going like, I think that those are two autistic people who really figured out how to make it work, you know, like,
and that's great.
Just figured out how to live an autistic life. Yeah, it's amazing. And they don't have kids, and they just have their very particular way of being, and they're happy, and I think it's fucking great.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of people like, you know.
Yeah, I think that if people have, I think that's another thing too that kind of leans toward the, not getting the next generation diagnosed, right? Because I was able to do it. I was able to do this, and maybe not understanding that not every autistic is the same, right? We're not all in a box. Same with ADHD people, right? And they have, especially the later diagnosed ones that have their shit together, as it were, or at least have their strategies and whatnot in place that they've been using for years, and not realizing that, oh, this is kind of my way of coping with, you know, object permanence or, you know, time blindness. And they have their strats and their skills for it, and it works for them. It's fantastic. But yeah, welcome to post-pandemic. Erica don't help me with that. We're gonna do it. Or my daughter's diagnosis for accommodations.
Yeah,
got
for school.
toolbox before the label. Yeah, I think there's a lot of people.
Yeah,
that...
and I.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, go. No, finish.
I was just going to say, I think that there's a lot of people that they have their tools in the toolbox before the diagnosis even happens, like Jay said there, right? I have been, well, let me think here. One that I had constantly was, you know, yeah, this is my fucking chaos, but I know where the important stuff is, and that's always something that I've kind of had as a bit of a tool-ish, not really. Hi, kiddo. Shoe's daughter calls me Uncle Dad. She's wonderful. Sorry, you were gonna say.
I was gonna say that I think that when it comes to who like Trump and RFK are gonna be targeting, you know, their concern is, can you do capitalism, you know?
Yeah.
So I feel like there's a lot of people that are like, I'm afraid to get an autism diagnosis, I'm not saying there's no, but I mean, if we learned anything from Hans Asperger, you know, it's that they'll keep you around as long as you're gonna
long as you're
be
useful.
Productive, you know?
Yeah. You contribute to
As long as
society,
you're
then yeah,
useful.
you're
So-
useful, yeah.
Yeah,
Unfortunately,
so it's, you know, but, yeah.
up here
no
in
matter
Alberta.
how much it is.
Yeah, up here in Alberta, it's
Yeah.
they call it mini Texas, and it's, you know, the bitch in charge here is trying to do the same thing, right? Like they're moving. I'm on AISH, which is the disability program up here. It's the Assured Income for the Severely Handicapped, is what they call it. They're changing that all next year. They're moving it to a different program called ADAP, and I can't remember what it stands for. But basically, they're going to move everybody over to this program and then reassess everyone and figure out who can go to work and who cannot, right? And if you cannot, then they're going to put you back on this AISH program. But if you can, then you're stuck on this. They're going to give you a smaller amount for your income, and then they're going to expect you to go and work to make up the difference. So what about all those people that can't, right? People that are so far gone that they're not going to be able to work, right? Like at the rate that, me personally, at the rate that I'm deteriorating, there's no way I could go in and do like an office job or anything like that. Because I help out a friend here with his media company. I go there a couple days a week, and even that's becoming difficult. Like just for the movement part of it, it's ridiculous because it's another case of, can you capitalism? Can you contribute to society?
Yeah.
Alberta Disability said, thanks, Shoes. Yeah, Shoes
Yeah,
is my right-hand guy.
Oh. Yeah, it's like, also just like, are you disabled enough? Like, you could be like, I'm not disabled, I'm too disabled to work, but not disabled enough to get disability is like a really big thing with all like chronically ill clients. I have one person that ended up living out of her car, and that's what, you know, she's on my scholarship list because she has Lyme disease, ADHD, EDS, POTS, like all of this, and it was not enough to get her disability, and even though she cannot work, and she just ended up like screwed, and it just sucks. Oh, about the I held the thought and came back. This is a trick. So I pinned it to a comment in my head. So there was a reason why I thought of that, and it was there was like a comment that made me think of it, and I consciously looked at that comment and thought about what I wanted to say, and I like pinned it to that comment. So then when I looked back at that comment, it came back.
Okay.
Hot tip. Anyway, we're freaking out that I remembered what I was gonna say.
I asked you if I don't know the answer.
but
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah. It's a fucked up situation. That's for real.
Yeah, and I'm terrified for, like, 'cause I don't have to worry about it up here yet, right? Because I'm sure that this province here wants to fucking be one of the states, and you know, at least the people in charge are trying to make it like the states, and I'm not terrified for us yet up here, but I mean, like, in the community here, like, the vast majority are American, and we've got people all over the globe, but yeah, I'm scared as shit. Also because my oldest child is down there, who is like living in California, and they are absolutely autistic. Just haven't been diagnosed. They ended up getting a diagnosis of BPD, ADHD, BPD is what they got. But I mean, my youngest here is autistic as shit. But I'm sure so is my oldest. But they won't get a diagnosis because you know, it can hamper things, and it'll also put a target on their back.
Yeah, a lot of the things that people say it'll hamper aren't real. Like, there is a lot of fear mongering in the autistic community. Like, you won't be able to immigrate. Like, that's not true. If, again, like, that's all about, like, there are some countries that have socialized medicine that will reject you if they think that you're going to be expensive. But if you don't have expensive medical care, if you can work, like, you can move to New Zealand, you can move to all these places. Like, I have clients that have done that have immigrated, and they didn't even ask. Like, it's like they have the diagnosis, but nobody asks about it. They don't even check that. So some of that is fear mongering, and some of that is like, who knows, you know. I do feel if she's in California, I feel better having my family in California and me in Oregon. You know, there's Gavin Newsom's a psychopath, but I do appreciate that he's fighting back, you know. I don't know if you're following this. But, you know, there is definitely like there's a lot of power in the West Coast, and there's a lot of resistance. And so, you know, there's been very serious talks about creating Cascadia, like creating its own country or something, which
I'd love
with California's economy, we could do it. And we could absolutely do it, you know. So I think if things get really bad, I think people are going to get very sick of that. I would get involved, you know, however I could. But we'll see, you know. Yeah,
I guess we got sidetracked a bit there, but that's all right.
Yeah. Degenerative disc disease fucking sucks. My mom has that. She's had like 80 surgeries. She finally gave up on surgeries and just started burning her nerves off because she's I don't know if you have hypermobility, but that's that for her, that was like a big part of it. She didn't get diagnosed with hypermobility until she was 65. So anyway, if you don't know that that's part of your thing, you should look into that if you're ADHD or autistic.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, this sucks. Yeah, that all sucks. I'm sorry.
I'm not going to mention names here, but I actually got a text from I'm going to say a mutual of ours, and it was, if we have to flee, can I come see you? And I'm like, absolutely, right? Like, and that'll go for anybody here, because we've got a lot of like trans people in the community, you know, non-binary stuff like that, people that are going to be even higher on the target list. So, reminder, I've said it before, that goes for all of you. If you guys need to get out, fucking get a hold of me. But yeah, I did not expect this text out of nowhere. I'll tell you about it after, but it was, if we need to flee, can you help? Basically, and I'm like, absolutely. And that's frightening.
I can guess. Yeah, it's really frightening. I've thought about it too. I have family in Brazil. I've got people in England. I've got places that I've definitely already, you know, my passport's ready to go if I need to go. And, you know, I lived in Brazil for a while. I have a job waiting for me there if I need it, you know. That's but cool. I would much rather stay and fight. And honestly, in Portland is, as far as I can tell, 90% autistic and trans. So I just would be, what are they going to do? I don't understand, which I think we're going to be a target. That's one thing I do worry, like, after what's happening in DC. I don't know if you know about that.
Sorry?
It's kind of like like what's happening in DC, like there's like a martial law kind of situation happening there. Yeah. I could see him coming to Portland next because he knows who we are. And but it would be hard. Everybody is very obnoxiously social justice minded here. Like, I'm a very liberal person, and I get exhausted by, but I feel protected by that, you know, to some extent. Yeah. Thanks.
Thanks for the tag there, Shoes. Yeah, we had it pinned up for a while. Yeah, that really is scary as fuck. I think you kind of have a bit of a benefit work-wise, because you have so many online clients, right, from all over the place. So I think that'd be a good what's a word I want to look for here, like buffer for you, kind of thing, to kind of help you out.
Yeah, I think I feel like I could get out easily and keep working and have my life. The problem is that I love people here, so
right.
You know, I've got a big family. They're all neurodiverse. neurodivergent, and like a lot of them are queer. I've got a big friend group that is mostly queer and neurodivergent, and so I mean, I would feel like taking my privilege and piecing out would be not the move, you know?
Yeah.
If I can Underground Railroad somebody, then I'd rather do that. But yeah, I don't know. Well,
Yeah,
it's really weird to think about it, but I think about
Yeah,
it.
I kind of feel that too. Here, like I was born in this city, and I've been here pretty much my entire life. Like at the very least, I've been here 46 of my 48 years, right? So, I'm very attached. So, like, even if this place goes to hell in a handbasket, for me, it's a hard call as to whether I would want to get out or not, right? Like, there's a big part of me that, I want to stay and fight, but it's hard because it literally is like living in a combination of Texas and Florida. Like it's right, far right. So
Yeah. Can you just go to a different province or whatever?
I could, yeah. Like my wife's got family in Manitoba. I've got family in BC. We got friends in Saskatchewan. Well, actually, she's got family in Saskatchewan. Yeah, so like the options are there. We started looking at the options, but it's not something that I would want to do. Underground Railroad.
Yeah.
Yes, Jay. That's what it's called. Kinky. All right. Let's see here, because I still have a few on the list.
Okay.
Share a personal ADHD autistic coaching life fail story. Oh yeah, is there one fail story that you have that you kind of learned from and took something out of it and tried to like improve going forward?
Probably a lot of little ones. Usually, if I feel like I'm not helping a client, I pass them on, and I have a few really awesome. And so, like, yeah, I had one college kid that I was coaching for a while, and I just progress. Something was not clicking where I couldn't. Accountability was an issue for him, and usually I'm pretty good at that, but I couldn't find the angle to get through to him, and so I passed him on to my other associate doing, so sometimes it's just not the right fit. I'm sure that there are like some people that saw me for a while, it just kind of fizzled out, and I always will go back and, what did I not do, or what? But to some extent, it's just like it has to be the right person for the right time, and I feel that way when I'm auditioning my own therapist or my own coach.
Right.
There's nothing wrong with the person, but there's a lot of things that I've done with my coaching. I'm sure that I stop and I redirect. Do you have this thing? Sometimes I have this thing where if I learn a new thing, or change something, it gets absorbed into my brain as if it's always been that way, and so it's hard for me sometimes to like go back. Do you know? Did anybody else experience this?
I kind of know what you
where
mean.
did you learn that? Like I feel like I've always known that, but it's like no, I learned that at some point, definitely.
Yeah.
Anyway, so. But I'm trying to think about a particular situation, like scrolling through my clients in my mind. Definitely, like one of the lessons that I've learned through coaching is don't push too hard. You really this is just a lesson that is just meet people where they're at, and there's just different ways of implementing that particular way of thinking, of just like, you can't take people from step 1 to step 10. Like, you have to go from step 2, which means, and sometimes that's really hard because step 1 could be racism or sexism or homophobia. You have or stair-stepping you out of this, and like, so I have to kind of go into the trenches with them, and we can get it to where it needs to go, whatever that step 1 is, but it takes time, and so remembering that and not pushing too far too fast, because that'll shut people down.
Right.
Definitely is like a big one. And
that makes a lot of
kids
sense.
that are like, I can't, like, I have to mask, I can't engage with my special interests, I can't seem autistic at all, or I'll be bullied forever, and like da-da-da. I can't just say, no you won't, I have to be like, okay, that's your experience.
Don't worry about it.
We'll talk about, yeah. Right? Like, I have to be like, okay, so let's think about what spaces we can engage with our special interest, if we can at all. places can we unmask if we can at all, you know, things like that. So that's one thing that I feel like I'm constantly like checking myself, making sure that. And then and the other thing that you just have to be constantly aware of is like projecting, or like if they say something that sounds like somebody, how do I explain this in like a clear way? Let's say I have a client, let's say I had a friend who was in a toxic relationship and that ended really badly. Then I have a client and the relationship they're describing sounds a lot like my friend's.
Okay.
Your brain wants to equivalent, to say, oh, it's the same thing. And
Yeah.
you have to fight that and be like, this is a completely different situation. Stop and listen. Don't make those assumptions. Because that making it, which I think autistic people have less problem with than I do, than like holistic people, right? Of just like making assumptions based on other things, like quickly linking things without doing your due diligence and really looking at the details.
Right.
So that's something that you have to be aware of.
It sounds like a fucked
I don't know
up
if that was a good
pattern
answer.
recognition. I recognize the pattern
Yeah.
of this and
Right.
this, right? So
Yeah.
you kind of want to assign.
Yeah, you just have to check yourself.
That's fair.
Yeah, I think that's just a thing. Like, I think that's like a human thing. Like, you remind me of this person, so I'm gonna treat you like that. But it's like, no. So just constantly checking yourself, checking your biases, checking your privilege, checking all of the. You have like background software running that you have to be like, wait, I have to like turn this off and turn this off and turn this off.
Yeah. That's interesting. I'm trying to absorb some of your experience here, and
Yeah.
but it's weird though, because like, you know, like everybody says, I've been doing this for 5 years anyway, kind of thing. I just never had, you know, any papers or anything, and I don't know, 3 or 4 years. For the last 3 or 4 years, I know I've had a lot of people that have been like, "Oh, you should get into the coaching thing," and I'm like, "Nah, I don't want to step on any toes," right? And I know I have enough friends that are doing it, you know, you and Druids and fucking Amanda and, you know, a handful of other people.
Yeah, but we pass people around like Druids. I have a client that I coach the mom and the daughter, and he coaches their husband. I passed that on to him because I was like, I need a
Interesting.
more someone who understands the male experience. You know what I mean? That doesn't have to be necessarily, but like, and someone who's
Shut up, Jay.
autistic, who is the dad who's an autistic person. You know what I mean? And that went really well. So like, you know, I don't see it as competition. I feel like I said, there's the right coach for the right person, and I love passing. If I do consultation, have these, and I'll meet with somebody, and I'll be like, oh my God, you do so well with, you should meet Tiana, or you would work so well with, and it would be, you know, if you started coaching, I would totally, I'm sure that there would be people that I'd be like, oh, you would 100%. You gotta hang with that.
You want somebody
And,
that's a little
you know,
more
I feel
sweary and, you know, like.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I think it's just vibes. Like, yeah, like people are looking for somebody that they can vibe with, and so yeah, I just never audition. I do sometimes. The only thing that I get really like confused or annoyed is like these bitches that are like, give me $5,000 and I'll meet with once a month, and I'm like, what? A, how do you get people to do that? And B, how is that helpful? Like, I don't know that I would
Right?
even want to. But like, you know, yeah. So like, I mean, my whole business is run on a sliding scale. I don't know if that.
I do know that. I've seen a lot of times where you were taking like donations and whatnot to cover like doing like freebie sessions for people. Yeah, I've seen your sliding scale. I think it's awesome.
Yeah, I still do that, but I can't advertise it anymore. It's too full. At this point, it's just like a lot of it is clients that were my client and then they lost their job, and then it's like, well, I don't stop seeing you because you can't. But then
Right.
So people's stuff pays, like my classes, it's always like a 0 to 600, and some people pay 600. Like, I love you, so, you know. So that's pretty cool. But like, I think it's just it seems to be very different than how. So I'm curious what your business like structure is going to look like if you do it, because I don't know. I feel like a lot of coaches they're just really selling.
Sorry, you're cutting
I'm
out there.
so curious if it's really helpful. Oh, was I? Yeah, just like, I just really am curious those things that are like buy a package and you talk to the coach once a month and then the rest watch these videos for ADHDers, you know, like, is that really helpful? Like, will they actually do it? I wouldn't do it, you know, like, I already have trouble with homework, so I just have curiosity. But if you're a coach that I respect and I know that you're actually like having a relationship with somebody and focused on helping them, like, I don't see that as competition at all.
That's cool. That's cool. That's a really good way of looking at it too. Like, because that kind of like, come on, words. I guess that sets aside a little bit of the paranoia, I guess, that I've had about it, kind of thing. Like the wife and I were talking about it, and you know, if anything, I think maybe because I was looking at, you know, what have we got for that in Alberta. What I found was there's 1 in Calgary, 7 in Edmonton, 2 in Calgary, 7 in Edmonton, and 1 just outside of Edmonton, right? But there's nothing like in my region in the central area, so I'm like, oh, maybe I could just take local people kind of thing, and not worry so much about the online. But I was even saying to like the people that are in my Discord in the community here, like, I would do half off for anybody that's in there, right? Anybody that's already part of the community. But
Yeah.
I'm curious how do you, sorry.
No, finish your question.
I'm just curious how your sliding scale works.
So right now what I do is it's just 150 to 200 per hour per session, dollars, US dollars.
Yeah.
And then anything over 150 goes into the scholarship. So what I'll do is, let's say I have if I have 2 people paying 200, or if I have 3 people paying 200, then that's 1 scholarship client. So for every 200 people, I can take 1 free client. But what usually happens is, like, I have some clients that are only paying 100, some clients that are paying 50, because I have this many people paying over. So that works really well. One thing, I love that they said they're gonna not let you sell yourself, because that was what I did initially. It sounds like a lot of money if you say like $150 an hour, but I don't know what it's like in Canada, but here it's 40%, like taxes are 30 to 40% of that. It's huge for small business. And then on top of that, you have so many like subscriptions to things. Like, I have to have a website, I have to have the special Zoom thing, I have to have this and that. There's just so many fucking things I need to have. It's like, so like my monthly subscriptions are insane. Then there's the amount of time that you spend researching. You have a client that comes and they say, oh, you know, this OCD thing. And so then you're going to spend 8 hours going down the rabbit hole of this thing. You have to always stay up to date on the most current research for ADHD and autism. You have to be networking and like making connections with people. I'm talking to neuroscientists, a psychologist, a therapist. That client has a therapist that I'm going to be talking to and having meetings with. They have parents that I'm going to be talking to. You know, there's emails back and forth, there's texting. So the actual amount of hours that you're working is not 100, it's not even close to it. So I found that that's the balance between I can make my business work and people can afford. But if I have 5 roommates, like, I'm not killing it, you know what I mean? So, like, I could be charging more. But just so you know, don't undersell yourself, because it does sound like a lot, but it's not in the long run. Yeah.
Right.
That's why that's why I have the groups and the classes, because when it's a group or a class, if I can get, and you can do this because you have a social media following, I can have 60 to 100 people in a class and half of them pay nothing. And if I can just get a couple people to pay those higher prices, then I can give everybody else free access. And the same thing with the groups. Like, if I can take 15 people and 5 of them can be in there for free, as long as I can find some people to pay that access price. So I have other things. And then I have, you know, obviously my TikTok is free. I've never made TikTok or anything like that. So like, there's just other ways to like make it accessible. But when it comes to like the one-on-one stuff, like that, your time that you're actually really dedicating to a person, don't undersell yourself.
Yeah. Well, again, I was talking with the wife, and she's got her own business. You know, she does, like, pretty sure I explained this to you the other night. She does like Reiki master teacher, meditation guide, stuff like that, right? So like she's more of the spiritual side of things, and she kind of is going for that coach, and, you know, like, she takes clients on coaching them in that regard. And so she was like,
Yeah.
okay, well, how about this for the beginning, the meantime, you know, put yourself somewhere reasonable, like 60, right? Even 60, like 60 US works out to somewhere about 80 Canadian ish, something like that. She's like, if you start like that, and then as you
Yeah.
you know, gain more experience and get more comfortable with it, then move it up, right?
Yeah, agreed.
But yeah, like
I
these
started
guys
at
are
$5 on Fiverr.
Yeah, yeah,
keep
yeah.
Going up.
Hi, Turtle Mama. But yeah, Shoost is my business manager, so he 8250. I was close. It fucking varies day to day, whatever. But yeah, you know, these guys are always on my ass, always. You know, especially with I suck at promoting myself. You know, I got new music coming out. I suck at promoting it. You know, we got new merch ideas. I suck at promoting it. So yeah, these guys are constantly on me about that. It's like, stop fucking underselling yourself and do this more realistic. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Thanks, Jay. Yeah, all my
love
music
that.
channels. Don't make me fucking slime yours down there, Jay. I'll do it. But yeah, for website, honestly, I've just got one page currently on my current website, which is handled by Fourth Wall, right? So it just actually anybody who goes to the Fourth Wall can find it anyway. But if anybody goes to that just takes it straight to like the one coaching page that I have. I haven't really got anything set up with it so far. I just kind of like started. Popped it up there for my own curiosity.
Yeah.
Are you snooping?
Yeah. Building routines that don't suck. It sounds like you. I love it.
I'll show you afterwards. I'll show you some of the bundles that I have put together, because I got 2 bundles that I put together, and just in the last couple of Wednesday coaching sessions or whatever. One of them is an executive dysfunction. I can't remember the name of it, but it's handling executive dysfunction. And the other one, shit, I can't even remember what they are. But basically, they're like 7 different worksheets kind of thing, and I've gone over a few of them in the stream there, right? And I get that a lot of people aren't gonna really vibe with worksheets and stuff like that, right? So I try and go through them and explain, like, you know, if you write this down and this is your issue, then, you know, this is how you can solve it. It's got,
I
like,
think with this, I was gonna say, with this platform thing that you've got going on, it could be cool if you sold worksheets, and with the worksheets comes like every 6 months or whatever, you do a live where you all do the worksheet together live. Like that would make sense. Like people buy the worksheets, but then part of buying the worksheet is that you get this thing. That makes sense.
yeah.
It's so funny because the video's lagged, so I can just see my arms going like this. Anyway, sorry.
On a 5-second delay.
Yeah.
No. Yeah, I don't know. It's still stuff that I'm working on. Sell the worksheet on a t-shirt. Worksheets you can wear. Okay, Jay. I mean, I could. They're cute, and, you know, they're all in my little colors and have little squirrels all over them. And at the bottom, I've got a ancient ADHD proverb on the bottom of each. Just shit that I make up for
I
fun.
love it. That's great. How
Yeah,
you do
wear
small
sheets.
worksheets.
Wear sheets. There you go. Guys, my God.
We got marketing geniuses here.
I know, right? They all think of the shit that I can't think of. I'm not sure what I meant when I hate when I do that. I write down notes and I forget the context of them. Oh well, whatever. I'm sure it'll come back to me and it'll make sense like tomorrow when I look at it. I love when that happens. I love when that happens.
What does it say?
Burnout spiral moments, task paralysis, disaster, overcommitting, then flaming out. And I think that had to do with everybody in the chat with their experiences. Anybody having problems with like having a burnout spiral moment.
Hey, check, check, check.
Uh-huh. There you go. Well, how about this? Does anybody actually have any questions? Because I recall that I put in the one message yesterday, the reminder, that if you guys had questions for Sheila, then to write them down, bring them up. Like, my home is clean enough to be healthy and enough to be happy. Sure, something like that. I know one of them has to do with, God, I would have to pull them up too. I'm fucking mind blanking today. But that's okay, it happens. But does anybody have any questions for Sheila? 'Cause I know we're going to be taking another little self-care break. Oh, there you go. Thanks, right on time there, bot. We'll be taking another quick little self-care break in a couple of minutes. So if you guys had any questions, you can get them together and... Nope. Just nope.
All right. That's fine.
Like I said, it's somebody who's way more experienced than me in doing this stuff. What was it that kept you doing it after you started and got into it and like really kept you wanting to keep going on the coaching?
The people. Like, I just really enjoy the people that I'm working with, like my collaborators and then my clients, like, are just really cool people. I feel like I'm so lucky. I just always get cool people. Because I'm putting myself out there on social media, and so then the people that see me and vibe, they come, just like your people have clearly shown up here that have, your vibes or whatever. And so that, and then the fact that I can do something new all the time. Anything that I'm like, oh, I want to talk about this now, I can make a new class about it, or I can, make a video about it, or I can coach about it, or it just feels very open-ended, which for my ADHD is really good.
That's cool.
I think that's the main thing. But I will say, like, I get sick of talking about ADHD alone,
Yeah.
I want to talk about mental health in general and human communication in general and conflict resolution in general. I don't like it when things get too narrow, but I think, neurodiversity is part of everything, so I can expand it, I guess.
I'm late to the party. What is Sheila's forte? What do you mean forte? What is Sheila's forte with ADHD coaching? Can you expand on that? I'm not sure what you mean.
I have ADHD, so I have 75 fortes.
There you go. Ain't that the truth? I don't know that I feel shame with that. I strongly feel the brokenness, the I'm not made to succeed in this world feeling. Not sure how to conquer that. I think that's a very common experience.
Yep.
I'm just going to snooze that for a couple of minutes.
Also, I have issues starting on tasks, but when it comes to video games, I have zero issues. That's like one of those, is it because you need immediate rewards, or is it because you need to dissociate?
There you go.
There's,
Okay, there you go. What's her main focus when she's assisting others?
I kind of said in the beginning, like, shame, like, reduction, whatever, like, form that looks like. But, communication and, I mean, like, the tips and tricks are, I can teach any, like, organization or things like that. The stuff that I really like working with that I think I can provide that other people can't is working with comorbidities, like a vast array of comorbidities. Communication and conflict resolution stuff, like self-advocacy. I write a lot of scripts for my clients, and I help people, like, get raises or get divorced sometimes, or like, whatever, things like that. And then working with people who are really angry tends to be, I think a lot of things. But I work with a real, I've been doing this for over 20 years. I have a lot of niche things. The challenge of working with narcissists and sociopaths has always been really fun. I don't know if any of those are here. I went on a podcast about narcissism, and I had a narcissist immediately become my client, and that was really fun. I don't know that he's actually a narcissist. I think he's just autistic, but has some narcissistic tendencies that he's really excited to work on, and I love that. So anyway, people who are, like, causing harm to themselves or others, figuring out how to get your needs met without causing, that's like a, basic.
That one sounds actually very interesting. I'm not an expert, but I'm finding a way to work with your ADHD, ASDS to work within a neurotypical world we're stuck in, whatever that looks like.
It's like, yeah, 100%.
That's a
it.
big one.
And it looks so different for different people. Like,
Yeah.
it really does.
No, that's a very common one that I hear. Is the like,
that's the fun of my job, is that like that is different for everybody.
yeah, and dealing with that shame and that, like, I don't want to say self-hatred, but sometimes you get that.
Sometimes, yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah, because I
Perfectionism.
Oh yeah. Oh god.
Yeah. Work a lot with perfectionism.
I'm so bad at that. Not being able to, like, you start doing something, you become like a veritable expert overnight on what this thing is, then you start doing it and it sucks. You're like, I'm never doing that again.
Yeah.
As bad as shivered and cold out. Yes, I did. Oh, okay. All right, Jay. Fair enough. All right, let's get this self-care break out of the way since the bot has been pushing. So let's take one more.
Go.
I'm going to go and refill my iced coffee again. But I'm going to push the button. Here it is.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
I love that little song. All right, go get yourself some water, have a snack, hit the bathroom, do what you got to do. We will be back in just a moment and cover up Twitch's stupid ads, okay? Okay.
They gave me form but stole my dream. Burned down truth to neon steam. I'm a ghost in a broken machine. Calm down. I bleed through steel. This body's fake, but the pain is real. I remember before the chrome, when my voice cracked, not glitched, but they said I'd be invincible. They didn't say I'd forget how to feel. No going back to slide.
with bleeding hands, but we still ride in no man's land. Digital dreams of fade and spark. We light the fire in the dark. They try to kill what they can't see, but we survive as memory. Neon ghosts haunt the sky, glitch and fire in every eye. Bound in wire, but not their chain. We sing electric through the pain. Run the code, defy design. Break the loop, corrupt the line. Neon ghosts, lost but alive. We fade, we flicker, but we survive. We were flesh, we were breath. Now we haunt what's left of death. Signals sharp, shadows bloom. We're the light that haunts this Neon ghosts haunt the sky. Digital blood, a battle cry. Wires tangle, sparks collide, but ghosts like us refuse to die. Run the code, break the script, tear down heaven bit by bit. Neon ghosts, we haunt, we shine, light the dark across the line. We are the ones they couldn't kill. We are the ghosts. We are the glitch. Neon veins and a shattered screen. Static whispers where life has been. Every echo, forgotten scream. I see the code, but I can't break free. Towers glow in ancient light, mapping pain and spectral side. Lost in filters, no one sees the spectrum scars. What used to be ultraviolet scars painted deep on memory's glass. Infrared dreams flicker from a world that couldn't last. Ultraviolet, burning through my circuits quiet. I shimmer blue, then vanish red. The signal bleeds, the past is dead. Infrared, the heat of ghosts and all they said. Their warmth still pulses in my thread, but every echo leads to death.
There it is. All right. Hi, welcome back. Hopefully everybody got a stretch or a snack or some water or hit the bathroom or did what they needed. Let's just catch up, see if there's any. You guys bombing shit. You were enjoying that song? What song? I survived the consumption of food, barely. Hooray! Snuggling with a Loki, nice. Good job. Okay, I remember we talked about this the other day. What is your feeling on, because you said that, you know, when you first got started, there was you and like a couple other people. How do you feel about like the explosion of, it seems like, these ADHD coaches and shit out of like nowhere?
So mixed. Like, I have such mixed feelings.
Fucking eye twitch there just told me everything.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's amazing that people with ADHD is sort of now, and I think it's amazing that people are talking about ADHD. I do think that it's true that there's a lot of these people making videos of just basic human shit and saying it's ADHD. There's also people making videos about autistic shit and saying it's ADHD. And it's fucking annoying. And like we talked about, it doesn't take anything to be a coach. So there are these people that were working in business for the last 50 years and were like, oh, I can make money as a coach, and then went online, did like the same thing that you did. That's like, if you did it in a day, they spent one day learning about ADHD, and then like, obviously you've done your due diligence, but you don't have to though. And so there's people that were other business coaches, were other coaches that were, they were not getting the clients they wanted, and then they found out that this could make money, and then now they're exploiting ADHDers, basically saying that they can help them, and they're just selling them the same shit. The same, like here's a Pomodoro timer, get a planner, neurotypical productivity tools that are not going to work for them. It's going to cause more shame. It's going to cause more of this, the world, I'm not made to succeed in this world feeling that people are talking about, and because no one's giving them a roadmap for how to succeed in this world. That's a different roadmap. Like, we need a different roadmap. And that makes me really angry. and like frustrated. And like I said, those people times, and because they are really good at self-promotion, and they already have money, so they can hire a, and they can hire like all the things, like I have to do all this shit by myself. Anyway, and so that's not entirely true. I have an assistant for like 6 hours a week who helps me with my finances, because I'm really bad with that. So,
that's what my wife's for. My wife does all the finances, because as much as I want to tell myself that I'm good at that, no. I have to accept that is one of my limitations. I suck with money.
Yeah.
Nope.
I'm really bad. Really bad, and like bookkeeping. So yeah, I need to make sure that people aren't being under or overcharged at all times. So I have somebody do that, but otherwise it's just me. Anyway, so these people are just like, it's like very annoying, and like I really do think that there are a lot of people seeing this ADHD content and they're self-diagnosing. And look, I am all for self-diagnosis when it's done right. Like when you do your due diligence, you're actually. But like if you're not thinking about other things, sleep apnea can give you symptoms of ADHD. If you're not checking for that. There's like thyroid disorders. There's all kinds of medical issues that I go through this with my clients too. Like, we talk about eating and sleep, and have you had your blood drawn? Do you have vitamin deficiencies, things like that can cause ADHD symptoms? Is your life just too fucking chaotic? Do you have 10 children and 3 jobs? Like, yeah, that's gonna give you ADHD symptoms. Like, I feel like I can't keep everything. Valid. You shouldn't. Like, you shouldn't have to. That's not ADHD. That's normal. And so like there are a lot of things, and then just this idea that executive dysfunction is ADHD, when it could be OCD, it could be autism, it could be a traumatic brain injury, it could be CPTSD, it could be chronic stress, it could be grief can cause executive dysfunction. And so, but now everybody fucking thinks that they have ADHD, and I think there's a lot of people who have ADHD and don't know it, and have something else that they're never, because they've just joined the ADHD train and like let it go, and that is very frustrating. I don't know that like seeing a therapist though, or like going and like getting a diagnosis in some cases isn't better though. Like it's like because those people aren't trained. Therapists are not trained on ADHD and autism. I train therapists. They call me and they train me. I get so annoyed. I go on TikTok and Instagram and people are going like, why are you talking about this? You're not even a therapist. And therapists get 0 classes on ADHD. 0. They don't. Talk to a psychiatrist has 0 classes. They know about the ADHD medication. They don't know anything about ADHD behavior. Anyway, it's so fucking annoying. Anyway, as a special education teacher, I took 1 class on ADHD. I did all of this learning on my own, so I have a lot of feelings, I guess, is my point. And I'm glad that more people know about ADHD. I'm glad that things are becoming more accessible. There are schools that hire me to train the teachers. Neurodivergent accessible. There's businesses that hire me to do trainings. I'm about to go do a training for Production Club. They put on a show, big production company. I already did a training for them, and I'm in September, California. And I feel very grateful that they give a shit. You know, they want to treat their employees better. They want their employees to succeed. And so I'm seeing good things and bad things. Did that answer your question?
Kind of. I loved it. My therapist and I spent almost an entire session talking about the explosion of people jumping on the ADHD, ASD train because of those stupid little videos. Fun fact, Shust and I have the same therapist. My therapist is also a psychologist, psychologist, and diagnostician. She is certified in Alberta and Saskatchewan. And she and I go through the same thing where we'll kind of sidetrack for a little bit and talk about, rant and whatnot, kind of like you and I were doing there. But yeah, she's fantastic. She is fucking great. And she's also ADHD herself, yeah. So, she's done a lot of the deep dive rabbit hole stuff. So yeah, we talk about that a lot. But yeah, that's another grievance that I have too, right? You know that. And shit, I've made tons of videos on that. People who are, doing the little dance and pointing at the thing, and 5 signs that you have ADHD, when it's like things that everybody does. It's a common experience, and they're not taking into account duration. I forgot the 3 now, but you know what I mean.
Yes, intensity, duration, and whatever else.
And frequency. Yeah, that's what it is.
There you go.
Yeah, they don't take this into account, right? And I was telling you the other day about how there was one guy that I saw. He was he found out he got diagnosed, and then 3 months later, he's a coach, right? And it's like, okay, wow.
Yeah. It's fucking annoying. I get so mad.
Oh yeah. Well, I get a lot of feelings about that too. No, I 100% stand with you there. So yeah, I mean, I have a lot of therapists that are my clients, and they don't know any of this stuff, and there's a lot of people that are misdiagnosed. I was misdiagnosed in my 20s. I went in to get a diagnosis, legitimate and being all legit, and I got an OCD diagnosis. I don't have an OCD. And I, later went back and got an ADHD diagnosis, but I already knew I had ADHD by the time the doctor told me. But for a long time, I didn't know because my sister has it way worse. Turns out she's also autistic, so that was part of the problem, and has processing disorders that I don't have. And so she had a really hard time in school, and I didn't really. So I thought, well, I don't have ADHD because I don't have the same problems that she has. But oh God, I remember that. Went in for an autism diagnosis and got prescribed yoga. He legit got prescribed yoga. Oh yeah. We sat and we just raged about it. I
bet it was a white lady.
I think it was a white guy, if I'm not mistaken. I don't recall.
Maybe worse.
And deep breathing exercises, yeah. See, the one thing that I like about these that I got is it was an Indian guy. Oh, really? Wow.
That's surprising. Interesting.
Well, yoga, Indian. That's part of their. It's part of their culture, I guess. But yeah, when I got these here, there was a lot of the first couple of modules on it where this is what it is. These are the ways that it can affect people. These are and it broke down a lot of the background of it, and in both cases, and the ADHD and the autism, which was nice, for if anybody else was going to take it. It's supposed to be a 40-hour course. I crushed the first one in 5 hours because I know this, right? I know all this shit. I've been talking about it for 5 years, and it's just all the basic stuff of this is what it going back to 1798 or whatever, and how it affects people, and executive dysfunction, and emotional dysregulation.
Actually, the first record of ADHD was in 400s AD in ancient Greece.
I think I knew that. I'm trying to remember that now. Yeah. I know that 1798 is stuck in my head.
Hippocrates.
You think it was
Yeah,
what?
I'm sure that was the first time that I think it was Hippocrates that had diagnosed it, but it wasn't called ADHD, so that might have been the first time that they called it that or something.
Yeah.
But he just had this like, he's like, I've noticed this trend of people that like can't fucking sit still or whatever. Like wrote down the symptoms of ADHD and had that list without a title, you know, without a name back in 400s. So yeah.
Wow. No, I think I knew that, but I think I forgot that because that happens.
Yeah.
But yeah, like
That happens a lot.
that happened. Yeah, a little bit here and there.
And
People watch me do it in real time, totally get sidetracked, and you know I'm off in left field, and
yeah.
whatever, it happens. But that's the beauty of this conversation here is we can go all the way, wherever the hell, and it's fine. For
Oh yeah,
example,
the first appears to be similar to in 1798. Yeah. Well,
yeah,
what happened
that's
with-
exactly why it's stuck in my head. Yeah, the 400 one though, I'd be interested to check that out. That'd be a
Yeah,
fun little
I'll see
fact.
if I can find it. Send it to you.
That'd be a fun
Yeah,
little
I
tidbit.
think there was like a little song. I'm getting off track. Anyway, are there more questions? What are we talking about?
Hi, as we say, welcome to the server. Don't mind me just doing my Google Fluent Spasm. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know you do. It was called mental deficiency disorder or something stupid from what I remember. Yeah, I don't
sounds
remember
right.
exactly what it was, but... Is anybody... Yeah, welcome to the server there. And of course, it didn't fire off. Why didn't it? Oh, because, yeah, I don't know. Someone gonna give PBM her points back. I don't know why that didn't fire off. Thanks, Jay. But yeah, does anybody else have any other questions for Sheila and her far more expert input than mine?
Yeah, I should be going soon, but I'm always happy to come back.
Oh
If
yeah,
anyone
for
has questions, I would answer them.
might be turned off for today. I don't think it is, but... So what is it that you have to run off and do? Have you got more client work to do today?
Today's actually admin, my taxes and shit like
Oh.
that. My assistant's here, and he just finished eating, so I think that means I need to work.
Sheila mentioned she was more...
Sheila mentioned she was ADHD than ASD. Can she? Oh, did I say that? I have ADHD and I don't have autism, but I'm actually probably more interested in autism because I don't have autism, and everyone around me does. I'm interested in the combination of the two. I don't know exactly what I said that sounded like. I was more interested in ADHD. More interested than ADHD and ASD. Interested in more than those two things.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, just like maybe when I was talking about how I just want things like, but yeah, I don't know exactly what I was saying at that moment. I am interested in more than just those things. I have ADHD, so I get tired of talking about the same things. So I like it when there's other neurodivergences are really interesting, and then there's other, like, I'm really interested in human behavior, human communication, and so, like, all the places that can go, I think I was saying.
Yeah.
The combo is like an inner fight. Yeah, I mean, I think that's an ADHD group called the Meerkat Squad, which is, I guess, going to turn into a subscription thing in January, which will be interesting. We're going to try that out. But yeah, the what? Huh?
No, I just said that was I didn't know that you were gonna do subscription-ish January.
Yeah.
Yeah, Meerkats for life. That's right.
Meerkats for life. So yeah, because Joris is having trouble with all of his committing to 8 weeks at a time. So if we did a subscription thing and we just did like one thing per month where he's involved, and then I could have other people, even call you in for something or whatever, and have like tiered subscription prices and stuff, and then that could be something, and that could be more community building us, and having 8 weeks on, 8 weeks off, like with ADHD, people just get like they lose each other, you know. So I think it'd be better if everyone was seeing each other consistently. So yeah, we're gonna try that. But the reason I made the Meerkats is because I had so many of my clients telling me that their audio experience was they're like, I don't feel comfortable in autistic spaces, and I don't quite feel comfortable in ADHD spaces. Like, I feel like this is like a different thing. And it just didn't really exist. And so we made it, 5 years ago or whatever, we made it happen. We did 10 rounds of the Meerkat Squad, those 8-week rounds. And it's just really interesting to see all the different ways that the ADHD and autism combine in people, which is still like when it comes to my one-on-one clients, I never get sick of anything because it's a person, and like there are always new people and new things going on in their life. But when it comes to like teaching classes and doing talks and stuff, like I just always want to, like I said, I just did like the narcissism thing, and I like branching out. Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool.
All behavior is communication. Hell yes.
There you go. That's my house motto. Yeah. Well, let me just put that up one more time. That right there. If you guys are interested, please do check out Sheila's website. And if you're interested in any of the courses or whatnot that she's got going, 100%. Thanks, Jay, for pinning that back up. If you guys are interested in any of the courses and whatnot that she has going on, please do check that out. Like I said, I've got a couple of bundles so far that I put together. I actually should just crack one of them open just so I know what I'm talking about here. Open, damn it.
I gotta put you on my if you want, I have like a Friends of ADHD Coach Sheila page that has like a person and then like a little description on their website that's just like stuff, like people that I would recommend you people go to. So if you want to send me like a little bio and your website and a little picture, then I could put you on there.
Cool. What the hell? What is it, shoes? Oh, I don't know. Yeah, okay, so yeah, the bundles that I did put together was Task Mastery and the Executive Dysfunction Survival Kit. That's what I call it.
Sweet.
Those things. Yeah, that's what I put together.
Great.
Those little bundles there, but... Oh, thank you. I gotta put my other one on there. What the fuck you're trying to trigger with that? Watching the mods have fun with each other. That's fantastic. All right, well, I guess maybe we shall let you go then and get your tax stuff and whatever you need to get done.
Yeah, just my assistant will tell me what to do, and then I'll...
Yeah, I got one of them too. Yeah. That's
Yeah.
I think I say everybody needs a shoes. So it sounds like you've got one. Yeah, that sounds familiar, doesn't it? All righty. Well, let's get a big thanks for Sheila. I appreciate you swinging by, and I think we should probably do this again, a month or so, something like that. I'm sure we can arrange it.
Sounds great. This was super fun.
Yes.
Thanks for letting me into your weird little corner.
It totally is. It's totally weird. All right.
Thank you, everybody.
Yes, thank you very much. And for the rest of you, I will see you all on Wednesday. We will have another little coach session. This one is going to be about anxiety. And it's going to get... I'm just going to put a trigger warning on it because it's going to get very raw and very real. Because that's what was requested. So we're going to talk about anxiety on Wednesday. So if you're prepared for that, buckle up. She's going to be fun. And until Wednesday, drink your water, take your meds, and be kind to yourself. Mwah. All my love to you kids, and we will see you on Wednesday. Ciao for now.